we'd like to welcome our guest, Major Renee Kriesman, Commander of the Patrol Division with the St. Louis Police Department.
We also want to welcome Elizabeth Hogan, Presiding Judge of the 22nd Judicial Circuit Court, and Steve Ulmer, Administrative Judge of the City of St. Louis Family Court.
I think we can all agree that we have a problem here. We've asked our viewers to write in. We want to talk not only about the problem, but about the solutions tonight. So my first question is going to be to you, Major Kriesman. There is a sense of lawlessness in downtown St. Louis right now. We've had numerous viewer questions from people who want to know what the new chief, what your department is going to do to keep downtown safe, especially in light of our first soccer game on Saturday.
Sure. So I think that I share with everyone at the table that we're very excited to have a new chief in place, and he's certainly spent the last 7 weeks with the community, with our officers, getting to know St. Louis, and he too, has. It's very important to him that downtown remains safe. It's very important that all the communities in the cities remain safe. So, we're excited to talk about this weekend because it's really a plus, and it's like a shining star right now in both the downtown west neighborhoods. So we'll have our first home soccer game on Saturday night. There'll be lots of events starting Friday evening. And then as we move into Saturday, they'll have a pregame events both at the soccer stadium and at Union Station. We have Missouri Valley basketball that will be at the Enterprise Center, and then of course we have Trevor Noah who will be at the Stiefel Center both Friday nights and Saturday nights. So there's going to be a lot of activity in both neighborhoods. We're very excited about that. I think that bringing people downtown, bringing people in to be able to do fun things and positive things is good for both neighborhoods. And I think it can help with some of the issues that we've been experiencing in the neighborhoods over the last few years.
And one of the issues, Judge Hogan, I'd like to talk about how the judicial system works in terms of when people are on house arrest and they violate the conditions of their house arrest, what happens or what should happen?
Generally, we use a company called TCS, and so they will send a notice that is filed in a case file. And any filing on any case is immediately emailed to both the prosecutor as well as the defense attorney. The courts can see violations if they have a reason to look at a file. And so the court wants to be clear, it was never suggesting we can't see information if we look at it. Generally, we would look at a file if there's something pending before us, a motion, someone's asking us to take some sort of action. I would say, like in every case, we would have to see what the violation was for house arrest, and then the court can set a hearing if they've set a motion to revoke the bond or to review the bond. That would be how that process would play out.
Sure.
And Judge Ulmer, a question for you today. We talked a lot about this memorandum of understanding between the juvenile courts and the police department. What is this plan going to do to help with juvenile crime and how these juvenile offenders are handled by police?
Well, the memorandum basically is a clarification of what has been going on, what the procedures have been. There's really nothing new in that, but it puts it down on paper for everybody, so everybody's on the same page and can work together. And again, it doesn't really change anything, but through time, sometimes people, they get a little lax. There's been a lot of new personnel, the new chief. We've had new legal staff out of the juvenile court. So it's easy for things to get just a little sloppy, if you will. And this is just an effort to get everybody on the same page. Everybody sit down at the table, let's review our procedures and make sure that this is what we're doing. And so I think we should be fine moving forward, and not have the misunderstanding of how cases should proceed once juveniles are involved.
Yeah. Major Kriesman, let's talk a little bit about police officers and patrolling the neighborhoods, especially downtown. Our viewers are concerned that they don't see officers out like they used to. Why is that?
Well, I think, right off the bat, we do have a smaller workforce. It's not, we have fewer officers than we had, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, but that number, you know, we have to use are the officers that we have. We have to use them in the best ways and in the best spots. What we have now, though, is the force multiplier of technology. So sometimes when you don't see officers, what you can see is a camera, or what we really like are our movable camera trailers that we can move around to different spots, and we move them around as events move, as people move, and when there's different things going on. So sometimes, even when you don't see an officer, what you might see is a camera, and we have what we call our real-time crime center at police headquarters, and there's officers that are monitoring those cameras 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
But we've had viewers write in and say they want to see more police officers walking around downtown and making sure that they feel safe.
So we still have the officers that we have in our cars, and then we also still have our downtown bike unit. And so those officers are the officers that are dedicated to the downtown area, and then through a good relationship with the downtown CID, we do have some officers that work off duty in our secondary capacity that also kind of patrol downtown. So we're always looking at better ways, where the officers should be, how they should be staffed, and what we can use with the officers that we have in the best spots in the downtown West neighborhoods.
Yeah, and so Judge Omar, I want to go back to the MOU and then just explain to us why that matters now.
Well, it ensures that there is open communication and thorough communication between the players, between the police, between our legal department, so that the facts can be fully developed. The legal department can weigh in on the law, and then be in a position to evaluate the case and present it to the court as needed, or direct it to some other service that may be appropriate for the juvenile, depending on the situation. But you will have the insurance that the full facts will be developed and the case fully evaluated before any action's taken.
And that is a good thing. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We really appreciate the insight.
And we're about finding solutions, and that's what we all want.